John Bauer here in New York. I work for Pella of Central New York, so pretty familiar with contractors and all the process that's out there. My wife and I got started because we had heard an ad when I was driving for work one day, heard an ad about heat pumps. We were in the process of looking and seeing what was going to be the most efficient way to heat our home. Took a couple minutes, filled out the application online, and I want to say we did that at about 9 o'clock at night, and by 8:30 the next morning we received a call from Halco following up on the application, letting us know they received it, and the next step was for them to come out and do a home interview, an assessment, which we were open to. Here we thought we were only looking at heat pumps. When Halco got here and did the whole home assessment, there was multiple things that they could help us with, such as insulating our home, so the walls didn't have any insulation in them, the attics weren't sprayed, and there was some other like a sub pump in the basement and things like that. So upon that assessment, we waited to hear back from the process. Halco came back, told us we received most of the funding we were applying for to get the home insulated, heat pumps, and so forth. One of the programs not included was a sub pump, but that was important to us because we had burned up some of the little smaller sub pumps, and so getting the actual basement treatment system was something, and so we wound up paying for that out of pocket, but it's been a pleasure to have, especially this year. We've seen nothing but rain and our basement is completely dry, so it was definitely well spent. But the whole process alone started, like I said, with just a simple application online, and it led to more home projects that we didn't even think we would qualify for, let alone get assistance with putting it in and installing it. Felt 100% committed to Halco and their process, and very friendly environment and crews that come in and work, to the point where we actually were in the process of, I was on my way to work one day and my wife called and said, hey, our hot water, we don't have any water. So knew there was an issue with our pump, and actually called Halco right away, and within 3 hours they had individuals out here to help fix our water pump, and like I said, was completely happy with the service we got on all accords, all the way from the first initial interview all the way up through completion. Was 100% satisfied with how one simple application turned to a complete home renovation, basically, with insulation and the heat pumps, and it's been a pleasure. The knowledge that was required for the heat pump installation, and just how each crew specializes in an area. It's not just, hey, I'm here and I can do all of this. It was specialized crews coming in, different steps throughout the way, actually taking the lead and putting those in. The professionalism all around from those crews. It wasn't, there was multiple times where I would just say, hey, we got stuff to do, the door's gonna be unlocked, and they went right ahead. One of the nice things was we have one dog that stays outside most of the time during the summertime. He doesn't like to come around. He wants to protect outside. And they always made sure if it was a hot day or something, he had extra water in his dish. And so just those little things that took you guys to the next step and went above and beyond, what you were there to do, but actually making sure, people's animals were taken care of if they weren't going to be there all day. We had to be gone while they were spray foaming, so making sure, everything was taken care of when we weren't here really made us feel comfortable. Yeah, so with Heat Smart, that was an ad that I saw on TV, on the radio when I was going to work. Came back, told my wife about it. We started doing our research, and as you filled out that application on there, it asked for, who were the contractors that you'd like to do the work. Well, most of the names were companies we had never heard of. So we actually punched in each company and tried to learn a little bit about which company would we be letting into our home, because there's a trust that needs to be there. And after do research and looking into everybody, Halco was fairly local to us. I had seen their vans and crews around multiple homes, and we decided, hey, we're going to go with the Halco. And like I mentioned, as soon as we clicked submit on that application at 9 o'clock, by 8:30 the next morning we had received a call. So that just speaks to, at that point it solidified we picked the right company to work with. The responsiveness was tremendous, and every step of the way, if there was the simplest of issues, we got that responsive call and really made us feel like we picked the right company. My advice would be 100% yes, take a call from Halco. And that being said, I've actually recommended Halco to several people just because of the service we received and the attention to detail. So it wasn't just, coming in and doing what they were here to do, but if they saw something simple that they could rectify, it got addressed. And then they just said, hey, we happen to do this because X, Y, and Z. It came really well. Recommended once we started doing our research, we knew we were going to go with Halco to do our home improvements, and I would highly recommend it to anybody because the process is smooth and the professionalism is far to none. I mean, I would think it's more of a family. Like when the crews come in, they treat everybody as if it was their own family and they were doing work on their own home. There were a couple nights where the crews were here late and it was just trying to finish up a project because they didn't want to leave it to the next day or they didn't want to have something happen. They wanted to make sure the job was completed before they left. Where sometimes you get a company and it's, hey, it's 5 o'clock, I got to be gone. That wasn't the case here. Several of them worked through rainstorms to complete everything. Some of them worked in 90-degree weather to get through the projects. So the commitment to the job 100% and treating everybody like family is one of the higher qualities that I would recommend Halco for. But also just some of the more nuances like the attention to detail and looking out for the people that when they're in their homes, finding different things that would protect them and help improve their home.